Jake Conover and Grant Looters. What's going on, Coyote Nation? Dude, I'm ready for this. I'm pretty excited to get this one rolling because we got someone joining us. We're just doing a little test drive. I think is the easiest way to say it, right, Ray?
That's right.
All right.
Pun intended. You
welcome
you car guys with the car puns right out of the gate. I get it. I see what's going on.
Absolutely. All right. So for all those fans tuning in with us live here, we got Ray joining us. He reached out actually after last week when we put the little disclaimer saying we're looking for a third. He said he wanted to give it a try. This is his tryout. So thumbs down
No
in the
pressure.
chat if you don't like how he's doing, and thumbs up if you think he's doing all right.
Man, don't beat me up tonight.
Oh, Jake's just putting it on thick here in the beginning. I like it.
Hey, I mean, at this point, you got to softball it in. He was pretty nervous today, so might as well have some fun.
No reason to be nervous. I will say for people who are frequent flyers, they're familiar with Ray in the chat because he's a commenter. He's a frequent flyer of the show. So I'm really happy to have you on, Ray. It'll be fun.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
No, we're excited. This is gonna be a blast here, and actually, we'll go ahead and get it started first with you, Ray. Just give Coyote Nation a quick introduction to you, and then what got you into Coyote football and Coyote athletics as a whole.
Yeah, we moved up to Yankton area about 6 years ago, and just honestly, casually, something to do. We went to a game, and we just loved it. And last 2 years, we've been season ticket holders. We love going. Went to 3 away games last year, and man, I'm excited about next year.
All right, now you gotta fill them in a little bit. What was one of those games that you went to?
We went to Northern Iowa, and then I also went to Southern Illinois.
Absolutely. And then Iowa State too as well, correct?
And Iowa State, yep.
Well, you got to see the 5 overtime game, and I know you were actually one of our bidders for the seats on the airplane too, and you found a way to get there regardless of how it was going to happen.
We did. My wife and I made the trip. Yep.
That's fantastic. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, Ray. We're going to have some fun with this. We'll see how it goes. You know what? That open spot could be yours. See what you think.
We'll see.
This also gives you a chance to see if this is really worth it. He saw how the sausage was made, and I don't know if he's going to enjoy it.
I'm honored to be here.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we had really enjoyed seeing you and I, Ray. It's always a pleasant surprise when you hit an away game and you see Yote fans, and you know the parents always travel well. So for us real sickos, as I call us, sicko Yote fans, it's always good to see other fans at the away games. So glad to have you on. We'll have a lot of fun tonight.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to turn it over because there was actually quite a bit of former Coyote news going around since last time we were live. And I wanted to touch on that quick. Big one first is Travis Tice signing extension with the Owlette. So we'll get to see him up in Canada, rocking and rolling some more as well. We have JJ Galbraith signing a reserve/future contract with the Steelers. So they obviously liked what they saw from him last season and wanted to get him back on the roster. So that one will be fun to watch and follow. I think he's got an opportunity based off of how invested they are in him to stick on the roster with it. 2 recent items, both Carters actually. Carter Bell signing with the Louisville Kings, a UFL team, and that'll be fun to watch. The UFL, AFL, haven't had a chance to follow it too closely. Been too busy in the NFL and Canadian football. We got another league to watch now.
Yeah,
Go
ahead. No, go ahead on the last one. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll jump on the last one here. We got Carter Hooper also getting an invite to the Canadian Football League Combine. So this will give him an opportunity. And for the diehards that really follow things too closely, Carter's actually originally from Canada. So this is a nice place for him to fall into.
Yeah, I was really, I think both Carters were like either yesterday or today that those came out. So was happy to see those two. But, Travis, that one happened probably about a week ago. I think he's such a good fit for CFL. Same way that Strevler was a really good fit in the CFL and that system and how they play. So I'm excited to see him get a bigger role. I assume that's what an extension means in that case, because he had a pretty limited role at times. So be exciting to see that. But then the one that's really exciting is JJ Galbraith with the reserve future contract, right? That kind of cranks it up from practice squad. It's a little bit more commitment to what they see there, which makes a ton of sense because Pittsburgh has a bunch of really old but really good tight ends, and at some point those guys are going to be moving on or hanging it up, and that's a good sign for JJ for sure.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see him get his opportunity there. All right, Ray, do you have anything to add on the past Coyotes?
Well, the one common thing that I see across the board is tough grittiness, and these guys are all competitors. I think all these organizations are lucky to have these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can tell you, Louisville Kings and the fan base, it was kind of interesting interacting with them. I never thought I'd cross paths with the UFL fan base, but Twitter got interesting there for a little bit when I congratulated him on his contract. So, hey, it's something else. It gives us more football to watch, which is always a good thing.
I was going to say, and I feel bad, UFL, I haven't followed it either. Is our closest UFL team Omaha? Do they have one? Am I thinking about that right or not?
No, they do not have
St.
one.
Louis, I believe.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Is it? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
The Battlehawks. Yeah, good.
I was hoping maybe there's one closest enough you could zip down in the summer and see Carter Bell in action. Maybe,
it's almost game time.
That's true. That's true. They start pretty soon here. That's true.
So no, it's good news for all four of them. Hope they really keep it rolling and get things going. But I just want to touch on some things that are happening around the university this week. One that I'm pretty excited about because I am a girl dad. Grant, you're the same. They have the all-girls sports clinic happening again for the second annual here on January 31st. I have provided the link, and if you need it, I can still put it in the chat or anything like that. You have time to sign up. You have up until the day of to sign up for it. But with it, check-ins at 10:30 on Saturday, and the clinic will run from 11 to 12. And with it, each girl that signed up for it gets a free ticket to the USD women's game against SDSU.
Yeah, like you said, I'll be there as well. I'm bringing both the girls down on Saturday for that, so that'll be fun. And then obviously stick around for the women's game, and we'll see how long the girls will last, if they can make it through a men's game or not. But I would sure like to stick around for the men's game, but I don't think I'll be the one making the call on that, unfortunately.
No, and this is a good thing too. I know the girls did it last year. All four, or my two and your two did it, and they had a blast with it. And actually, my girls don't even know that they're signed up for it this year. So this one will be a little bit of a surprise for them. Yep. But to follow, of course, SDSU game at 1 for the women. Definitely get to the SDSC on that one and pack it out. I know there's still quite a few tickets available. Honestly, I think it's going to be a really good game. The Coyote women have been very strong this season. They've looked good. They looked really good in the non-con, and they're doing really well so far through the summit. SDSU is obviously very strong, like they have been in the past. So I highly recommend getting to it. It's going to be Battle of the Titans on that one. And then, like you mentioned, the bruised and battered Coyote men will face off against NDSU. You know what? The Isaac Bruns news definitely cuts pretty deep on that one. Was it now the 6th Coyote on a season-ending injury for the men's team? I don't know how we have this poor of luck when it comes to basketball on the men's side.
But they keep competing every game.
Absolutely. Right now they're 500, and
yeah,
they had to bring in 3 random people mid-season, even just for depth.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been so gritty too. I was so impressed with the win at Omaha.
Yes.
Really, like we said, walking in there for the first time, knowing you're not having Isaac and finding a way to win on the road, that was incredible. And I know tonight they were down early, but they've come back and seem to be taking control a little bit. A lot of game left. But yeah, they keep battling, they keep grinding. And the nice part is the Summit League is pretty open. Right? I mean, there's not one team that absolutely terrifies you like there has been in Summit League past. So, yeah, really appreciate what those guys are doing with the tough hand they're dealt.
Absolutely, yeah. And then last but not least here, Calling All Coyotes is getting close. Have you guys ever been?
No.
I have
Grant?
not either. No,
All
I don't
right.
think I have
So
been.
I'm working on it. I'm gonna see if we can do it or not. Obviously, we do have to purchase our own. But I had an idea today that there should be a back to pack table. And
There you
if we
go.
get enough folks that are interested in sitting at a table with us on this, I will go in on that and we can all sit together. So if you are interested, shoot me a DM on Twitter or Facebook. We'll get it planned out. But I've been a few times. I wish I could bring the stuff in. I have not personally purchased anything. I'm just going to go out and say it because it gets out of my price range very quick. But Grandpa Larry was a longtime purchaser. Easiest way to describe him at Calling All Coyotes. I have a fantastic classic popcorn machine that's decked out in all coyotes sitting in my living room. My brother has a wonderful wood carved coyote bar table in his basement. And then also, he was one of the few that bought the coyote electric golf cart as well. So,
Oh, nice, nice.
oh yeah, absolutely. There's some fantastic stuff. I think this year I am going to walk away with the Cuban cigars if they have them. They've had them every other year. I'm going to put my name on that box though.
So where's the golf cart? Is it in?
It's in
Is it
Ida
in
Grove.
Arizona? It
No,
is in Ida
no,
Grove. Okay, okay.
it's in Ida Grove. The brother gets to drive it. The family gets to drive it. I suck at golf, so plus I don't have anywhere to keep it up here anyways. I'm the
I
fisherman.
mean,
I'll go fishing instead.
logistics
But
I'm sure would be tough, but I would love to see that thing make an appearance at tailgate.
dude,
Yeah.
I might have to pull some
No
strings on that
pressure,
one.
no pressure, but you can load that in the pickup and bring it
Haul
down.
Charlie around the campus.
That's
The
right. That's right.
the one thing I'm nervous of is I enjoy tailgate too much, so I don't want to get
We can
behind the wheel.
we can find you a driver. We'll find you some
There you go.
excited
Okay.
12-year-old who wants to drive a golf cart.
I'll teach the 9. By the time that rolls around, I'll teach the 9-year-old how to drive a golf cart.
There you go. Exactly.
All right, perfect. So, real quick before we get into it, just a word from our sponsors here, JJ's Wine, Spirit, and Cigars, located on 3000 West 57th Street here in Sioux Falls. They have the largest selection of premium and super premium wines here in South Dakota, all hand selected. They specialize in their whiskeys, but also do carry a large selection of all the top spirits. And one thing I will say is do not skip on JJ's Bar at the location. The food is fantastic. Personal favorite is the Bloody Marys as a go-to. So I recommend stopping by. And when you do stop by, make sure you tell them that Back to Pack sent you.
Yeah,
All right.
I would agree. They that bar side is great. Say the loaded nachos, Bloody Marys. Whew.
Yeah. And the mint julep in your
The mint
little
julep.
princess glass.
It's a gimlet. It's fine. You'll get it right sometime.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll keep calling it names. All right, but let's go ahead and jump into what everybody got here to join us for. We are going to be talking about the South Dakota defense tonight. Now, I'm not going to go out and say that I have the roster printed out or the depth chart by any means because we still have a full spring, summer ball, and fall ball to go through. These are just our comments, what we believe is going to play out. And so do not take our word for it because I also last year I tried to build out what the depth chart was and I accidentally put Carter Bell instead of Jack Martins when I typed it out. So again, don't fully trust us on it, but gives us a chance to talk and definitely throw your thoughts and comments in the chat as well as we run through this. But I want to start at the top of the defense. And this one is very interesting because what I've done is I have color coded them. Anytime you see yellow on the screen, that means it is a returning starter. They started at least one game last season or previous seasons. Green means that they did get some playing time, whether it was in the rotation quite a bit or scrub minutes at the end. Doesn't matter if you played, you're green. And then any name that is not highlighted is either a previous redshirt that hasn't seen the field yet or a recent transfer in. We'll cover those as we go through. If you have any questions, please throw it in the chat on it. But to start at the top of the safeties, easiest one to go to right away, Tim White. We get him for one more year. And I can tell you Coyote Nation is going to be excited about that.
Yeah, and again, to set the table, we've had so many transfers on the defensive side of the ball that even to myself and anybody watching, there's a lot of names that are very unfamiliar to us because they are brand new, right? That was one comment we kept making about the transfer portal is how defensive heavy it is. So we could be completely wrong on this, to your point, is about who we're looking for, who we're watching. But Tim White's the one that we know that's going to be. He's a leader. He was a captain last year. Felt so horrible about what happened to him, getting hurt early and not getting to play anything. But so glad that he gets to come back. I feel like he's going to be on like a revenge tour type year. You know what I mean? Not revenge tour, but like he's gonna want to bring the juice because I feel like he's definitely felt like he was robbed of a season last year, and I would agree with that. So I'm so excited to see him back. I fully anticipate him to be QB1 of the defense, captain again. He's going to bring a ton of leadership to this defense that will inevitably have some younger guys and newer guys, if they're not younger, newer to USD.
Absolutely. No, that's well said. And I will say it is going to be interesting to watch as well, just with not just Tim, but then you also have Charles Pierre Jr. coming back and Keandre Jones-Logan. I think I think you nailed it actually on the head when you said revenge tour. Those three all feel like they got gypped out of a season. What could have been to start the season. I think it will be huge just to get them going. But yeah, Tim's going to be big. Getting the C on the jersey as well. It's going to be good for him. On to the next one is Ty Morris. Now, this was a name that was not being passed around too much in the beginning of the season, but he started to show up more and more as the season went on and actually played in quite a few games, even in the playoffs. So, again, he's actually a name to keep an eye on for a potential starter next to Tim. Again, I'm not sure. There's some names being thrown around. Again, you don't transfer if you only have 1 year left to play, as in the next gentleman to follow. And Kale Kolerick coming from Iowa there as a redshirt senior. It'll be his last season. He's definitely going to do what he can to compete for that starting position and get plenty of playing time.
The one thing I see all the way across these safeties is the length and the size of these guys. We're going to be a force in the backfield next year with these guys.
Absolutely. I'll cover up one name. We'll just cover up Jaden Brown. Now, I will say he is on the smaller side at the 5'9", 175. But I'm going to point it out. They burned his red shirt last season. Okay. So at the end of the day, the size doesn't matter. He did a fantastic job. He actually played, I don't even want to say sparingly, like he was involved quite a bit, especially towards the end of the season. And for all the fans that remember that UND blocked punt, it was Jaden Brown.
Yeah, that's what really put Jaden Brown on the map, right? Was that game in particular as the, blocked punt. And then I thought he had another play in that same game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that,
he also ran
that's
punt returner too, but
well, maybe that's the
that was
play
payback for when they tripped him earlier in the game.
That's right. Sorry, Jaden. I didn't. That wasn't my intention on that. But yeah, the block punt was really what put him on the map. And you go, oh my gosh, that guy is flying around the corner to get in there. That's exactly, to be honest, that punt block saved the season, right? I think a lot of us at that moment is like, that is the pivotal part of the season. So I'm hoping that he continues to bring that kind of spark plug kind of mentality to where it's like, hey, I can get this fired up and get going. And he's going to, I think you're right. I expect him to see a lot of play time next year.
Yep. All right. And then I do want to preface this too. When I built this list out, I need you guys to all understand this was me going to goyotes.com, looking up the roster and finding DBs. Now, I do, for the most part, kind of have an idea of who's safety, who's corner. But when we get to the next page, you'll understand where I'm coming from when I say this. I do think a few of these guys will play corner as well. And then maybe even thrown into that stud position between that hybrid linebacker safety role. But with this, I do want to say the names to keep an eye on going into next season are going to be the Tim White, Ty Morris, Jaden Brown, Kel Kolerick, Kevin Doddard, Cameron Hawkins, and Dawson Shesher. I'm actually really excited to see Dawson continue on. He played the last part of the season. And if I remember correctly, it looked like a cast. It might have just been a padded up, but he still played phenomenal, and he's a hometown guy. So I'm really excited to see him continue to develop with this program.
That'll be a heck of a rotation.
Absolutely. Again, this is what you want to see too when you look at these kind of things is the hockey line change. I like to joke about that, but it's true. When you can pull two guys off and replace them with two like-minded starters, in essence, your defense is going to be fresh for longer, and it's just going to keep people out of the end zone for longer, or the entire game.
Yeah, and it seems like too that the coaching and recruiting staff had a strategy in mind for loading up defensively. But you'll see on the next slide, to your point, Jake, we have a lot of folks that are going to kind of go in and out between safety, DB. We're going to have multiple packages where you're going to have 7 DBs on the field, right? Depending on what you're trying to do, and have a stud linebacker. There's a lot of flexibility that comes with this type of personnel, and I think that was certainly not by mistake.
All right, I just want to make sure everybody caught that. Grant thought 7 DBs, so 4 D linemen and 7 rusher or 7 say in the secondary.
Yeah,
no
I think so.
linebackers.
Well, it's like you've got this stud linebacker that's kind of there's
okay.
all right, fine. I'll change it to maybe 5 and a stud.
Yep, the dime set. There you go.
There we go.
All right, so no, I am excited about the safety, and this is the fun part about it. There's a lot of excitement with a lot of these names going into the next season, but with it, we don't have that starter in place, so you have that a little bit of anxiousness, like, oh, who's going to step up, who's going to be able to handle this. But then you also see, okay, we got 3 guys that got playing time last season, and then also we are returning a captain that was a previous starter. We're not just gonna be good, we're gonna be great. Again, these guys will be rotated just like last season, where in the offseason we went from Mikey Munn being at safety to Mikey Munn being an All-American corner, just because they moved positions, and Roman Tillman going from corner to safety. So those are some things to keep an eye on. Again, we're not perfect at this. We're going to try our best on it, but these are the names that are going to pop up. Do you guys have anything else for safeties?
No, that's good.
Okay. All right. I mean, this is going to be the easiest page of them all, for sure. When you return the 2 deep on both sides of both sides of the field, this one you can actually pull out that Sharpie.
Yeah, I think especially to your point, with so many quote unquote listed safeties, there's no doubt that there's going to be guys from that list that are going to be in cornerback type roles, or called a hybrid role, right? Where maybe they're going to have to play a little bit of both depending on personnel and things like that. But to your point, we've right out of the gates, you have a pretty darn good idea of who's going to be trotting out there early and getting a lot of reps. And like you said, we know 4 names right out of the gate.
Absolutely. And then actually Ray's point that he brought up on the safeties, look at that length on this page here. The shortest is 6 foot, but the funniest part is that 6-footer is probably the most athletic person on the team. He's the one that won the dunk contest last offseason. So with it, you got 2 All-American corners. And I will say, I'm really excited to see what DJ and Jalen can do. They've been in the program for a year and a half now. I'm really excited to see what opportunities they bring. But then also you got the transfer coming in, and Josh, the Shark Grant. Pretty excited about that. Anybody that has the nickname the Shark, definitely somebody to keep an eye out for. And then,
yeah, and to your point, we definitely have a type, right? Or the coaching staff has a type when they look for cornerbacks. This long, these long guys who are super athletic. To your point, RJ and Mikey Munn are going to cause a lot of problems for QBs next year. And we already know that. We've seen it live in action. And the other thing I'll say too is RJ brings in the spot of, hey, you can have a redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore come in and contribute. There's gonna be somebody like that comes up. There is every year where you're like, I have no idea who this guy is. What is he doing out there? And all of a sudden they become, a starter or really a superstar. So that's always exciting to see from this name, to see who's going to develop into that. Who are we like completely missing that becomes a huge contributor in 2026?
Absolutely. And then real quick, I'm actually going to jump back to the safeties page here because I want to point out two things. First and foremost, you have two All-American corners coming in next season, sharpied in. It makes the job of these safeties that haven't had time or full time at least easier. They're going to be able to run coverage easier just because the edges are sealed. You just have to worry about what's in front of you, and that's it. The other part I want to touch on, so there were actually 6 freshmen that signed, or high school seniors that signed with USD that actually came in the spring semester, and I didn't want to miss it, but we have Mason Wydra, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, again, I apologize, joining us. The whole reason Jaden Brown actually got an opportunity to get some playing time last season is because he came in as a spring semester freshman. So that's another name to keep an eye on. That is usually a pretty big deal when you can get kids started early. They're going to be able to contribute sooner too. All right. You guys got anything else you want to hit on for the corners?
I just think the experience speaks for itself. These guys are just going to play with their hair on fire. This is going to be so fun to watch, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're so talented, and just with how much we saw Mikey for the most part come out of the gate pretty strong. Like, obviously he got better as the season went on, but he was still pretty top notch once he was put into the starting role. RJ was a fun growth experiment to watch. The first few games, they were rocky, but as the season progressed, that guy just got better and better and better. And all of a sudden, I don't know if I can name the game, but there was just a light bulb that clicked for him. And if that growth chart continues for RJ, the sky's the limit for that guy. So these guys, I mean, this was the easy position group to talk about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but with this, we're going to keep creeping closer and closer to the ball here. We're getting down to the linebacker core, and actually, I'm really excited. There's a lot of color in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this corners were pretty easy, but of course, there was only 5. And again, we might have some adjustments from the safeties down if anybody's going to be playing stud or corner as well. But again, this is to the best of my knowledge. But next season, we return 2 starters at the linebacker role, and that's going to be Wade Abrams, former captain as well, and then Gabe Hardman. 2 fantastic guys that really held their own in that linebacker room.
Yeah, those 2 will be nice pieces to get back. Like you said, 2 guys that are just rock solid. Again, you can Sharpie those guys in the starting lineup, and then to your point, a nice smattering of green in here too, of guys that are not coming in for the first time to play for USD, which is good. But again, brought in a lot of talent at the linebacker position. Brought in a lot of defensive talent in general, and linebackers no different from what we saw in the DBs.
Absolutely. And then actually a name I want to touch on here as well is going to be Zion Banu, if I remember correctly. Now, he is not a previous starting linebacker for USD, but he was a previous starting linebacker for Abilene Christian, where he transferred in from. So that is definitely something as well to keep an eye on. Really, when we get 3 returning starters per se in the linebacker room, it makes life easier. But then the next name down that you have to look at here is going to be Ethan Carrier. That was a transfer in from Minnesota. They are bringing him in more for that stud position where, again, it's that hybrid safety linebacker role. So you might see him roving out in the secondary, or he's downhill meeting the running back in the hole. But that's a name to watch as well. one name I want to bring up that's highlighted green, and it's a flashback to the Mercer game. It's going to be Lincoln Adams. If it wasn't for him, we would not have gotten that shutout, I don't think. His late game play was absolutely insane. The only thing that was missing was that pick that he had a perfect stretch out for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, funny enough, it's very rare that you get to see reserve guys get in a playoff game, and we got to see that at Mercer, right? Just it was a little PTA as we talked about, but yeah, we got a good look at that, and I thought Lincoln Adams played outstanding in the limited, play time that he got. But that's exactly what you have to do as a reserve. When you get your opportunity, go in there, play with your hair on fire, get after people, be all over the field, and so one, he's highlighted, but you kind of extra highlighted just based off of that. So I expect to see him get a lot of snaps here in 26 also.
Yep.
One thing I noticed is every one of these guys is over 200. That's going to plug some holes and really get some intensity towards getting the rush on.
Absolutely. And actually, one name I feel bad now. I just realized I don't have him highlighted here is Crew Hire. We do know for a fact that he did play. Unfortunately, he did have that rough knee injury against UNI.
Yep.
Not 100% if he'll be back for the season comes around. Obviously, we fingers crossed, hope everything goes well with him. We'll see. But he's also a name to watch. But I could see him being more kind of that rush edge situation where you'll see him starting out in the linebacker side of the lineup, but then moving down to the edge before the play starts. But I do feel bad because I just realized I missed highlighting his name.
For shame, Jake.
Hey. You've seen the names. It was a lot. It was a long day.
I'm just giving you a hard time. time.
All right. And then actually the last thing I touch on with the safety is I want to touch on here with the linebacker. We have not one, not two, but three true freshmen that are here now already in the linebacker room. And that's going to be Mason Klaus, Max Clark, and Josiah Gooch. And for those that didn't see on Twitter today, Gooch is an animal. I gotta give him a hard time. He found his way into ChatGPT or similar AI enhancement tools, and he made that guy. He made himself look like kind of between WWE and Mr. Universe. I think it's probably the best way to say that.
And an all-time college football player name. I mean,
absolutely.
I assume we have to confirm, I should say, if Gooch is a pronunciation, that's just off the charts. That's going to be a hit at the Dakota Dome. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, it's going to be similar to like Ndamukong Suh.
I could hear the cheers already.
I was just about to say that. Yes, I was going to say, I was thinking like Barrett Ruud, Ndamukong Suh. I'm a Husker guy, so those are the ones that come to mind for me. But yeah, I can hear the Dome saying Gooch, and that'll be nice.
Absolutely. All right. Now, and I had to jump in and see if there was anything on his name pronunciation on Goyotes. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Okay, there we go. Correct pronunciation.
We have a commenter that says that is correct. So
fantastic. It's just one thing I'm always afraid of. I don't want to pronounce the name wrong. Yep, there we go. So
the good news is that if we screw up the pronunciations now, John Thayer always cleans us up by the time the season rolls around. So that's the important part. That I always trust John Thayer. He's got the good info.
Absolutely. All right, and actually, real quick, I believe that the game is just finishing up now. I want to touch on.
It did. Yotes doesn't say
the Yotes.
It is a final 77-69. Am I reading that right?
Absolutely. Yep, that is 100% correct. So shout out to the men for getting it done on the home court. So they got some juice going into the weekend here. If they can get a win against NDSU, they can really get some things rolling. But good win for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go ahead and pull that down. We're going to jump into the last section of the night for the defense here. And look at that. Some more color.
Oh, Jake, you want to talk about hockey lines? This is the unit that's going to have the hockey change lines, right?
Absolutely. And actually, real quick, I want to pull this up too. 2 for 2 on name pronunciation. So thank you very much for the comments. So it makes me feel better. And then I will totally butcher the next name for sure now because I'm going into it confidently.
No way you go 3 for 3.
Exactly. All right. But yeah, the hockey line change. We could go 3 deep in every position across the D line, and we wouldn't lose a starter.
Yeah, this is the, I guess to me, with before we jump into like individual names here, but this is the one to me that is by far the most fascinating for a number of reasons. But one is that you have a lot of guys with a lot of snaps that have played in 2025. But then you also bring on guys that are not young guys, right? That are coming
No.
in, whether it's guys that haven't played snaps necessarily yet, but have been in the program for a while, guys that transferred
Mhm.
in. But you can see on this list, there's not a lot of, like, you don't see a lot of redshirt freshmen. There's a few redshirt sophomores, but we're talking about a lot of juniors and seniors on this list.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even the lists of non-highlighted names have
Hmm.
gotten some opportunities from where they're coming from. You start with John Starman, got plenty of opportunities at Brown, and he played really well for them. So that is going to be a big addition at the center, in the middle of the line there. Kanan White coming in from JUCO route, got a ton of playing time where he's coming from. Isaiah Ray, you guys all know we touched on it. Second team NCIS, all second team. So very awesome from him. Neo and is had some playing time at Maryland. Samuel Same. I only know that name because he was Iowa State, and I remember following his recruiting. It also had some time at Iowa State as well. Again, it's just nuts. This one is a savory. I'm excited to watch what they do with this.
For all of us to get where we want to go with the battle that the Missouri Valley is, man, this line looks like it could really make some moves.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just looking at it, it's interesting to see here. The one thing that does catch my attention is I wanted to start with Neo Avery. So the Go Yotes page, this is all updated. You can go to it. It's the 2026 roster now. When he was coming in from Maryland, Maryland's roster had him at 255, but now he's all the way up to
Hmm.
275. And that gives him that flexibility to just play any of the 4 positions out there. And I have joked with this off air, but you look at Neo, Isaiah, Niall, LaPerry, Same, these guys are all your D end, your prototypical D end kind of guys. Same's going to be your skinnier one in the pass rushing where it's third and long situation. But you could walk out a 4 D end, D line, and just wreak havoc because of the speed that they'd bring to these against these O linemen.
Yeah, I think the creativity that Kirch and Johansson are going to be able to have on the D line is going to be endless with this. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that, rotation wise, personnel wise.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like the opposite from last year, right? Going into the season, we didn't really have a lot of confidence of who was going to play. Not the confidence in the players, but just confidence in what that depth chart lineup was going to look like. We really had no idea because we had so many guys leave and so many guys shuffle around
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. This year doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like we've got a lot of guys who have been contributors, both at USD, but also contributors to your point, Jake, of, we've got guys coming in from P4 schools that contributed. We got guys who are coming in from NAIA, coming in from other FCS teams that have contributed. So I'm really looking forward to it. But boy, this feels like as deep as a defense that we've had in a very long time.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, like Ray said, you win in the Missouri Valley in the trenches. And,
Hmm.
I'm not sure if we'll do the offense next week or not. I'm trying to get some other stuff lined up for us as well. But the trenches on both sides of the ball just look outstanding right now. And, with it, I got the names up there for ones to watch. One that I was excited to see on the 2026 football roster here on Go Yotes was Niall Dickel. We're getting him for one more year. He
Yep.
really, really was a major factor, especially towards the end of the season, but he was a big factor on that D line, and people could not contain him. But the two names actually that I kind of want to watch out for too, just in different situations as well. I was actually a really big fan of Max Cole's highlight film coming out of high school. And now he's redshirted. He's had some time to grow within the program. I'm curious if he's going to get some snaps. I was really impressed with him. But then I'm really excited to see how Jackson Kogel has progressed as well. 6'4", 305. Again, at the end of the day, you can't teach that. That is a plug the holes kind of player there. And I think he's going to be a major factor in this next season as well.
Yeah, I like seeing what we have here because it seems like in years past, and I'm not talking like the last 2 or 3 years, but talking 4, 5, 6 years ago, it just seemed like our roster was always filled with like sophomores, right? It always felt like it was like full of sophomores and guys never quite developed or whatever that looked like. But those days are long gone, and now we're also to the point where not only do we have seniors and juniors and pivotal starting significant snap areas, but we also know the guys behind them are capable and have played significant snaps. We're going to get to a point in the year where inevitably somebody's going to get hurt, right? That's just kind of how football plays out. But somebody's going to get hurt, and instead of going, great, now who? You're going to know exactly who's going to be in there, right? You're going to have 2 or 3 guys that you're going to go, oh, okay, not a big deal. So I know the coaching staff has worked extremely hard, right, building this depth out on this team, and they're in a really good spot defensively this year.
Absolutely.
I think when we look at defenses, you usually point out one unit that has so much more strength than the others. You look at this down the line, all 3 of these units look strong. This looks like a defense that could really wreak havoc.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
I'm 100% with you, Ray.
And the only one where I don't want to call it a concern, I'm just anxious to see how it plays out, is going to be the safety room. Just it doesn't have the colors like the other position groups have. But when you have a D line that can rotate this deep, it's going to make your secondary job 10 times easier, because the moment you cut down on that internal clock of the quarterback is the moment you win. And this is where it all starts. But then with it, you flip it over to the linebacker room. And, with Zion, I want to talk about him because he had 10 and a half tackles for losses last season. And he was actually one of their tops with sacks as well for Abilene Christian. He knows how to get in the backfield. Wade and Gabe have just been phenomenal players. And just watching their progression go from season to season has been great to see. They're just going to be those rocks that keep the defense consistent. Both have ran as the mic'd up player, where they actually have the calls coming into their headsets during the game. That definitely makes life easier for the coaches as well. So just having that kind of confidence and seniority out there is going to be huge. But with it, again, we're no experts, but I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I think, to your point quickly about safeties, right? I agree with you. I think that's the most unpredictable, but as we saw, we have so many personnel options of guys who are going to be going between safety and corner as well. But do not underestimate how significant it is to get Tim White back. I'm Tim White's number 1 fan right now, but like that was devastating last year to have him go out early. Like I think people maybe overlook that. Like you always think about QB1 or like your running back 1, like, which those are significant, don't get me wrong, but anybody who's wearing the C on their jersey and you lose them for a significant amount of time, we saw that early on with our defense, right? We weren't what we were at the end of the season. So I'm so excited for him to be back. That's going to be fantastic. Absolutely.
And we'll flip it here to the last page in just a second, but after tonight, the one thing I can say that I feel very confident in saying, we bring in the best defensive line room for sure in the Missouri Valley, and I think it's going to compete for the best D-line room in the nation. And then we bring in the best cornerback room in the nation.
No
And
question.
that one, no question on that one.
Yeah.
So this one, the season, is going to be a blast for sure. All right.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I know, and as I say, I know we didn't highlight a lot of comments tonight, and I apologize that we didn't hear, but you know, somebody, I think, so one of the questions was, I'm scrolling through, there was really, what's the biggest question mark position group? It's not the defense. Yeah, there it is. Outside of QB, which I think we'll obviously talk about that in another show as well. We'll do something similar for offense, but you know, to that point, since we're talking about defense, I really don't have any question marks on defense at this point. I mean,
no.
Mhm.
The only question mark I would have is just what's the name of the starting safety
yes,
next to Tim,
agreed.
but not are they going to be able to compete and hold their own? You know, so with it's there. And then really, I think the only other question mark on the team as a whole is the depth behind the starting wide receivers. Just curious about what that looks like. But again, I'm not seeing practices. The casual fan did not know who Fenner was going
Correct.
into the start of the season. They heard the name coming out a little bit, but he didn't have any stats to stand on. I think we're going to have a very similar situation coming the next season.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
we'll
I'll say defensively, we didn't know who Mikey Munn or RJ Stewart was either. And here we are highlighting them in yellow and Sharpieing them and saying we got 2 All-Americans in our best unit. So that could change quickly.
Absolutely. All right. So before we get into this last slide, Ray, what are your thoughts? We get a live comment on it.
Man, it was great. I was excited. This was a fun show.
I was gonna say, is it weird sitting on this side of the table now?
It is definitely a different perspective.
Absolutely. No, I will say you did great. This was a lot of fun. We're definitely going to keep trying this stuff out. So, and if anybody else is interested, we'll definitely run it as 3 until somebody fully says they're fully comfortable in it. Ray, that might be you as well. We'll keep rolling too. So if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to have fans on. Heck, we just love to have fans on to have a conversation with you as well. We got a long
I was just about to say that. Say it's a long off season, so I was just going to say, please reach out to us. We're happy to have folks on. We always have guests on in general, right? Whether it's players, coaches, but I think that's one thing we've talked about, Jake, right? Is getting a few more fans on as well with us. That's always a lot of fun. So don't be bashful. Definitely reach out to us if you'd like to engage a little bit.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, hey, I think this is a great spot to call it, unless you guys have any other comments.
I think that
I
nailed
agree
it.
with you.
Perfect. Well, hey, the last thing to do then is go Yotes.
Go Yotes.
Go Yotes.